So here we are with episode 23 of the Apothecary Diaries. Last episode, Maomao set up a trap for Lakan, and now we will have to see what she is going to do with this man, whether she wants to probe him for information or perhaps enact a little revenge. Who knows? We'll just have to see what she's got in store. If you guys like the video, like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. I do have my full length up on Patreon and early access on the YouTube memberships. Other than that, let us get started. In the back was Maomao's flowers. Perhaps in the forefront was her mother's? Man got the fucking shivers. Oh, she's gonna fucking challenge him, huh? Giving her a handicap and she's... Come on, I'm gonna put your trust in Maomao. You're actually employed? What have you been thinking she was? Could you buy out a courtesan? Her mom? An aging courtesan. Oh, it's a drinking game? Drugs! No matter the reason. But he's being very lenient. Man's over here just happy that his daughter asked him to play a game with him. Alright, I'm only starting to think about how big these pieces are. Oh, it's a second one. Chess master. Hold on. Hold on. I don't think she cares. Well, I mean, you know, I'm just thinking about how fucking wide this table is, and Mama has to, like, lean over. That leniency is gonna be, trouble. What if Maomao already took all the, the ones without the medicine in it? Damn, he's already... Oh. Well, he lost. Alcohol. She just added more alcohol. Damn, he's a light drinker, huh? Oh, fruit juice. Okay. Oh, we're gonna see a little Lakan backstory. He was born with a, something like a facial discrepancy. And I assume that's why he's so interested in in Maomao's mom, because he can actually see her face. To take on a famous courtesan. Okay. Can't see her face. Her nails. Okay. Fengxian. Fengxian. They make more money being here than being sold off. For to see her once every 3 months. Whew! Oh, those are Maomao's flowers. Wood sorrel, okay. But he just couldn't afford. And so he says something about losing value. Of a courtesan losing value. Which one do you have more advantage on? Oh, Meimei. Oh, when Meimei was a young child. That's why she takes care of Fengxian and Fengxian. Alright, that X is going to kill me. So it's the same thing as with Maomao did to him, right? Let's place a bet. And then we're back at it, them playing without any fecking music. You mean she said nothing? Wait, the apothecary? Oh, that's Maomao's. Go study abroad, just in case. And so when he comes back, it was already too late. But it wasn't. Oh, she grown so much. What? What? Her fingers? A baby? Mao. Where have you been? Oh. Holy crap, Granny just broke the broom on her. Wow. I really like the animation of the rain. Oh? Wow, really fucking took him to the Vetigris house and he wakes up but without Fengxian. Shang? Alright, that X is. Oh. Some noble servant. And that's why she's so good at it. Okay. That's... Oh, it's a blue rose? Oh, like Fengxian. Wait, Maomao just brought him there and it's just like, alright. I mean, consider that he's probably like, I already know that I've lost. So, wait. I mean, I assume she had to assume everybody else at the Vetigris house that he's gonna buy somebody out. But that makes it an understandable thing. Because, like, they've been going on a very, you know, like, I am, for Lakan, I mean, that he's a very bad guy. And I mean, he kind of fucking plays that part as well, too, in the way that, and also, like, the way that the anime portrays him. But there's just something within me that just continuously, whenever I look at the fucking spoiler of the opening, right, there's always something within me that I'm just like, okay, there's that, you know, inner regret that he has. Is just, we just don't know what exactly. Although I did find very funny that, like, after they had sex, they were just like, kinda wanna play some chess. preview. Okay, well, I'm gonna write some notes, and we will be right back to the center. All right, so that was episode 23 of the Apothecary Diaries. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty good episode. We finally get to see the background between Lakan and Fengxian. Anyways, the more I think about it, the more I'm just gonna fucking jump off at this point. Just whatever. If I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, I'm gonna just stop. I mean, not stop, but I'm just gonna continue. Okay, so the scene opens up with Meimei's tits, this angle. It's just really showcasing, like, the sun, the sun's coming in. But as we learn a little bit more about the past, we now know that Meimei used to be Fengxian's I was gonna say assistant, but like the servant girl said, she was being taught under Fengxian somewhere around there, and it makes it much more understandable why Meimei is the one who is the one that goes into what is it? She's the one who plays chess or Go somewhere around there, and I thought that was also very interesting for Meimei when they were when she and Maomao was talking about her wanting to retire and such, and she's decided that she doesn't want to retire, and we have that glimpse of her playing chess or Go with this one dude. Maybe she's got a crush on him, and that was very interesting in the way that her love story is playing out like Lakan and Fengxian, but in hopefully, right, it plays out better than what had happened between Lakan and Fengxian. It also makes sense why it is Meimei who is the person who's always, well, not always, but she is the person who tells Maomao, goddamn, when Maomao first came back to visit after getting kidnapped and all that, it was Meimei who's just like, hey, if you go and check the, whatever the building is where your mom is and all that. She's the one who asked Maomao about that. And then the next time we see Maomao there with her mother, it was Meimei who enters the room. And here we have Meimei who is opening up the window, right, getting some air for Fengxian and everything. And in the next scene, we get to see a little more close-up of her hands, and we see the two missing fingers, which, she's... So, like, did she cut her fingers off? I would presume, did she cut her fingers off and then she gave it on over to Lakan? To which, by the way, Lakan was gone for 3 years, and, like, somebody was still just receiving mail and just putting it on his desk. I thought that was so funny. Just more mails, just fucking toss it on his desk. Eventually he'll come and read it back in the 3 years. But also, here in this scene, we have her sing about, like, sleep my baby, sleep, where is she? She cries. And in the beginning, I was just kind of like, oh, like, did she actually sing this song to her daughter? I would presume so. But also, when Lakan and Fengxian slept with each other, he had heard her sing this lullaby. And he thought nothing of it, because, after they had sex and all that, they really wanted to go and play board games. In the next scene, we continue on with Maomao facing Lakan and challenging him to a game of chess. And we've got Lakan who just, he does a little shiver when she asks him to play some chess with him, right? Gets a little fucking wiggle. He's just like, ooh, how could I possibly decline a request from my lovely daughter? And right here, as they start making the rules and they start making the bets, and also he asks her if he could, if she wants some handicaps as well, right? He's being very lenient towards her, and it's that, like, the way that his attitude changes immediately. I had thought, wow, he's being a very doting father, but at the same time, he's doing it a little bit much, right? He's going overboard. It makes me think about, like, the fact that he's been trying to buy her contract somewhere, somewhere around there for the past 10 years. I'm still a little confused on whether he wanted, I think, no, he did tell No, he told Jinshi specifically, like, I've been trying to get the granny to let me buy her contract for the past 10 years, and now you just came and fucking stole her from me. Now that you have this backstory of Lakan, you can actually see that he really genuinely was upset that, like, hey, you took my daughter away from me, like, the fuck, dog, I've been trying for 10 years, and they've been keeping her away from him, or at the very least, Maomao's been avoiding him as well, probably because of all the things that the people in the Verdigris house have told him. Have told her. So he's never really gotten a chance. To be with his daughter. Never really was there for her growing up to the person that she is right now. So now that she's actually reaching out to him, he's just going overboard. And I believe I didn't say it. I thought about it, but I can't remember if I said it, because as he continues to be, like, lenient towards her, and the way that she made up these 2 extra rules, and he's just like, yeah, that's fine, it's totally okay. I thought in my head, wow, dude, that leniency is really going to be the death of you. Or it's gonna be the reason why you lost. In this game of chess, they've made 2 bets. For Lakan, if he wins, he wants Maomao to go live with her. And if Maomao wins, she wants him to buy out a courtesan at the Verdigris house, which I would still presume it is Fengxian, you know, she's so be like, alright, fucking take her home, take care of her. So Maomao says, I won't say who, but the old lady wants to get rid of an aging courtesan. And so he says, so that's your first move. And so he just accepts it anyways, right? Because he's being very lenient on his daughter. And again, there's 2 rules that she says, right? You've got to drink this if you lose, and there might be poison in there. She's bluffing. The second rule was that no matter the circumstances, if you can't play anymore, then you've lost the game. And Maomao just knows, as the way that Jinshi sees, right? He sees that, okay, this girl knows the rules, but she's never played chess before. This man is literally, like, a grandmaster. So he is extremely adept at this, at the game of chess. So the only way for Maomao to win was to get him drunk. Because she knows that he abstains from liquor. All the times that we've seen him drink, that wasn't actually alcohol. And now that reminds me whether that drink that he gave to Maomao was alcohol or not. I would presume not. If he doesn't drink alcohol, he probably just gave her some fruit juice, I would presume. But Maomao's over here, you know, she's been drinking out here. Her liver's not gonna like her when she grows up even more. But because of that, she has a much higher tolerance of alcohol, and Lakan doesn't. He just gets knocked out immediately, and they just fucking take him to the Verdigris house. After that, we spend most of our time in Lakan's backstory, and here he is, born with facial blindness. I don't remember the scientific name of it specifically. I believe it's called facial blindness. Actually, I don't know if that's specifically what he has, but you know, you're you can't tell the difference from anybody's face. Well, his face. All right. You know, but before I start thinking about all that, I'm just gonna assume that for now he can't differentiate between humans. He couldn't even tell men and women apart, and he keep mistaking his mom for his nanny, or his nanny for his mom, somewhere around there. His dad is very unhappy with this, so he's just like, I'm off with my mistress. Goodbye, wife. Get her out of here. We learned that Lakan has an uncle who was able to understand him, and so he taught Lakan how to differentiate people by their build, by their voice, by their height, you know, all the other different sort of spiel. And then he starts to tell him, hey, how about you start to think of them as chess pieces? And that's when he decided, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Well, he started thinking about, no, these are chess pieces. But then these are go pieces. Yeah, whatever. I like that when he's like, oh, when I start seeing my uncle as a chariot piece, I know that he was good, you know? He is indeed a great man. And he keeps mentioning that his uncle is an intelligent but clumsy man. And at some point, he got in position of becoming a strategist because of his family name, right? He's a Nepo baby, but also consider that he had all the free time. He devoted it to playing chess and Go, and he's just overall, because playing chess, it's like a war game, so he's able to just apply that into real life, and that's why he has such a high position that he has now. But here in this moment, he's still kind of just a working man. He's kind of like Lihaku, right? Which is also why Lakan says, even if I'm weak, as long as I place people at the right places, it will get me to victory. Since Lakan is so good at chess and Go, he had a lossless streak in both work and game, so he followed his colleagues to a brothel to take on a famous courtesan, and here he loses to her for, he loses for the first time, and that is when he sees a human's face for the first time, right? He sees Fengxian. When you see Fengxian's face and the way that it is, you can definitely see the features of Maomao, or Fengxian's feature on Maomao's, but yeah. I suppose she liked his plays so much that she's decided that, we're gonna play another round, except they're gonna play chess that time. And I believe Lakan had mentioned at some point that he could beat her in chess, but he couldn't beat her in Go. I believe that was the case, and we kind of saw that here, right, where she defeated him in Go, and then that's when he recognizes her face, or he sees her face, I mean. But also there is this part with like the Go, because he's like, my black and white world, here's the Go, and then she brings color into it, and so it's her red fingernails that puts a little color in his life, which I thought was very nice. And for several years, they continue playing chess and Go with each other, but she was becoming a little too popular, and so he couldn't afford her prices as much anymore, so he had to come visit her once every 3 months. With the rumor that Fengxian is going to be bought out because there's a lot of people who want her, she decided to place a bet with Lakan as they play this game, and she says, if you win, I'll give you anything you want. If I win, I'll take anything that I want. Somewhere around there, right? If you win, I'll give you anything you want. If I win, I will take anything that I want. Okay, so he hears that, and Lakan in his head, and she also gives him the option, right? Please choose a board. In his head, he's just like, a terrible thought crossed my mind, which I would presume, perhaps, it's that idea of lowering a courtesan's value? Who knows? But he decides to take the Go board instead of the chess board, which I would presume he would have won if he did it in the chess, but he's decided to take the Go instead, in perhaps that maybe she will win? Who knows? But they ended up not really finishing this game, I would presume. Because the both of them touched hands, they held hands and everything. Wow. And then they just did it. They had schmecks. And I love that he's just like, yeah, there are no sweet words from her. I didn't say anything either. And I'm just like, all right, y'all just, I mean, that's fine. But this is where the both of them say two different things, where she says, I want to play Go. And he thinks, I've been thinking about how I want to play chess myself. I was just gonna be like, alright, these two are just on two different planes, right? They're on two different boards, and they just, and perhaps that also goes with Lakan in the way that he never really realized that she was pregnant with his child, or she had feelings for him, or he had feelings for her. This is where we've got Fengxian, who's singing a little lullaby. Maybe she is a little excited that she might be El Prego, but this man just goes back to sleep, not really thinking too much. 3 months later after that, his uncle was ousted from his position, and this is where we start to realize that perhaps Lakan's uncle is Luomen this whole entire time, the apothecary, because this man says, oh, first you became a doctor in the rear palace, and now you got kicked out? You bring shame to our family, get the fuck out of here. And it also kind of makes make it understandable why Luomen is apothecary who's just way overqualified for his work, and he's just working at the pleasure district and like living in this fucking shack. And Maomao is just over here like, why is he like this? And so we kind of have an idea, right, that he was kicked out of his family, and I would assume that's why he came on over to the Verdigris house as well. But because of this, Lakan was forced to go and study abroad, and he kind of underestimated how long it would have taken. He's just like, oh, maybe it will take 6 months or something. And so he wrote that, and he sent it to Fengxian, somewhere around there, and then 3 years had passed. During that time, that was when the Verdigris house started declining, and they were going through a muddy period, and Fengxian had her baby, which devalued her so much, and because of that, nobody particularly wanted her, and so she had to work like a streetwalker. I believe that's what Lakan said. So 3 years later, we've got piles and piles of letters from Fengxian, which also kind of makes me realize that's why we see her writing often, because she's always writing to Lakan. And then finally, the last letter maybe is the one with like blood on it. I think that's blood, right? Because when he opens, he's just like, oh, this is bark or something? Oh no, these are fucking fingers. Like, oh my god. He says this is a popular way to curse someone. So she's cursing him. I mean, it's just an understandable thing on how, like, hey, you told me that you were gonna come back in 6 months, but now it's been 3 years, and you know she has wasted away at this point because of syphilis. And that love that she had for Lakan, and I would presume that love that she had for Maomao, had also evaporated, right? Which is why we see Maomao remembering her memories of her mom trying to kill her, because at that point, right, Fengxian's probably like, you're the reason why I'm like this. You're the reason why I'm broken, right? And also here, right, she's cursing Lakan for not coming back. Although he's like the other small finger in the bag. Does that mean that she also cut off Maomao's finger? I've never actually noticed a detail in Maomao's finger, but also it could kind of make sense in the scene where Maomao as a baby was crying. You know, maybe her mother was just like, whoop! Just slice a little piece off of her, you know? So all of this regret, as he runs back to the Verdigris house, he wonders why he didn't notice this whole time. They held hands and everything, this whole time. And like the whole time why she held out on being bought out is because she was waiting for him to buy her out, but he never came, and unfortunate. And we've got Granny, who's very, very fucking upset with him, rightfully so. Oh, she also says Fengxian is gone now. Where have you been all this time? You left her for 3 whole years. I would presume Granny says she is gone because she caught syphilis and now she's not like herself anymore. Or she just isn't herself anymore. And it makes me wonder if, like, does that mean that Lakan knows that she's still alive? Or not? Because they just say that she's, and they keep Fengxian hidden away, so nobody really knows that she's there. So yeah, I do wonder if Lakan knows that she's alive or not, because the only person that he tries to buy the contract out is Maomao. Not super sure, but I suppose we might find that out in the next episode. So after the flashback, we've got something that Maomao gave to Lakan, and it's a withered rose, as he says, but Meimei says, even though it's a withered rose, it still takes shape. And then Maomao was holding a blue rose, but it was not blooming, right? It was still in its like bud form. Yeah, it's another flower. It did not bloom. When Meimei says that even though the rose is withered, it can retain its shape, Lakan thinks about Maomao. Although I was just over like, Fengxian? But he thinks about Maomao, and again, it kind of makes me wonder. I'm like, does he know that she's alive? What's happening here? But again, maybe we'll find out in the next episode, because Maomao wants him to buy somebody. An aging courtesan. The other aging courtesan we know is Meimei. But who knows? Who knows? We will just have to find out in the next episode. But yeah, this was a really nice episode. Felt a little emotional. I really enjoyed this episode. And it's just finally nice to be able to get the backstory between these two. And it's just... and like with fucking Lakan just acting suspicious this whole time. God, dude. Man's just out here playing fucking mind games. But it also kind of makes you think even more with like Jinshi and how he thinks about Lakan. He's just like, oh man, Lakan for some reason he's like really out here to get me or something. And well, I kind of already explained that, right? And that Lakan's fury was true for Jinshi, and the fact that he literally stole his daughter away from him, like the daughter that he's been trying so hard to stop. That's why he's that's why he's being so fucking petty towards Jinshi. But also consider that he is Maomao's daughter, right? If Lakan catches wind that Jinshi might have a crush on Maomao, he's probably gonna even be more like, whoa. First you stole my daughter away from me, now you're trying to fucking get together with her? I can't have this. But who knows? I do find it very interesting that Luomen is the one who ended up adopting Maomao. Consider that Luomen is related to Maomao, if he is Lakan's uncle, which I presume he is. And it makes me wonder if Luomen knew about Fengxian, or this just happens to be like a happy accident, right? He just happened to be at the Verdigris house, and he just happened to help them from time to time or something after they actually trusted him. And then he adopted Maomao. Who knows? But also, Lakan never really mentions Luomen, so I wonder if he knew at the time that Luomen was there and Maomao was living with Luomen. I would presume maybe not, considering that he hasn't mentioned it, but I don't know. We will just have to see in the next episode. But until then, if I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for watching, for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next episode.